Okay, so we'll put this curved roof on. The reason why I don't want to use the SketchUp model for the curved roof is SketchUp facets curved faces. So I want to get a nice proper curve in this, so it's probably better to do that using the Revit roofing commands. So to achieve that, I'll just go to the factory floor and I'm going to place a section view in. So probably on the view menu, I guess. I'm having a look for section. Here we go, here's the section tool here. Just place a section at one of these grid lines. I'll go from the second last grid line. If you go from the bottom up like I've done, you're then just going to have to flip that over. There's a set of flip arrows here. So click on the flip arrows to set it around the other way and drag your selection, your section width, the view depth, back so it's just encompassing one of the grid lines, and then take a note of that grid line. So I'll just turn the label onto the grid line there, X1. I need to remember that this view is on X1 because I'm then going to open up that section by double clicking on the pointer, or you can now find it over in the project browser and double click on section 1 there. But a quick way is normally just to double click on the pointer, not the bubble, the pointer. Okay, so that's opened up that section view for me. Looks like I need to, now that I can see what's going on, I need to stretch out my grid lines a little bit higher. Okay. Alright, before I go any further, I'm going to have to bring in the portal frame. So I'm going to go back to the factory floor to enable me to do that. Now, last time we brought a SketchUp model in, we brought it in as a mass. This time we're not going to use it as a mass. I just want to leave this portal frame turned on all of the time, so it won't be going to the massing and site and changing show mass all the time. So just under the insert menu then, while we're in the factory floor, I'll just get you to import CAD and scroll to the directory where you saved your files. And this time, so I'll just have to scroll to my correct directory here. Okay, I'm going to bring in the wide span portals. Now I'm preserving the colours, the layers all auto detect worked fine before, so everything should be set up the same. Place at factory floor is most important, orientate to the view. And I'm just going to click open, and temporarily I'll just, like I normally do, I'll just place it off to the side for the moment. Okay. Now, I'm sorry, I did something wrong. I'll just get you to delete that. We need to bring this in not just normally like that, we do need to create something. I'm not going to create a mass though, I want this to be categorized under structural framing. So what I should have got you to do is under possibly home, I'm looking for okay, drop down component, drop down the little arrow below component and click model in place. So we're going to create a model in place. Now the category for that will be structural framing. Click OK and call this portal frames. Okay, so we're in portal frames. Now while we're in the model in place portal frames, this is when I'm going to go to insert, import CAD and bring in, scroll to my directory again, bring in my portals file, preserving the colours, layers all, auto detect, manual center, factory 4, orientate to view. I think that all looks all okay. So now I'm going to open all that up, place it off to the side somewhere and then finish the model. Okay. So at the moment some of these lines of these portals, you can see the view range of this plane is set up so it's cutting through the columns. Some of the columns are showing up a very light sort of colour. So I want to override the colour that's being shown here for some reason. I'm going to select on the portal columns I'll right click then on top of it, I'll override the graphics in view by element, and I'll open up projection lines, which probably should be cut lines actually, I might do to both, and I'll just change the colour to be solid black. And I'll just do the same to cut lines, colour, solid black. OK to those, and now my cut lines look nice and black there. Now I'm going to select that model now, and I'm going to move it from hopefully the midpoint. Can't pick up midpoint there. Let's have a look here. Escape again. Just select it again. Move. Right, I need to pick up a midpoint there, so I'm going to have to work on that to see what I can do there. Let me see if I just use the DL for detail lines command. It's not selecting anything for me. Okay, this one here is. Okay, I've got a midpoint on this one here, so if you're like me and you can't select anything back there for some reason, I'm not too sure why, we can just work on this one. So I'll just escape out of that, pick that up, move it from that midpoint, and I'll move that midpoint to this second grid line. Now I need to make sure I get the intersection of the grid lines. So if I hover over the top of where I think it is, somewhere around about here, and just cast my eye, when I get intersection popping up, cast my eye to the bottom left hand corner of the screen, and I want to make sure I can read intersection of grid Y0 and grid X1, and then I'll click. So I've now got those portals allocated in the right location. Now I'll just do a save there. Now that you've got that portal frame in, we might have a look at a 3D view just to make sure so you can see what's happening. So this building's starting to take some shape in Revit. So we'll do a save at that point, stop the video, and we'll come back and we'll work on this roof.